The other thing that I mentioned earlier was the power of one person. And if you think about it, not all of you have read the book, so I'll just kind of give you a little recap. The main story that people think about when they think of Dicey Langston is how she crosses a raging river to save an entire settlement of people. She was just a 14, 15-year-old girl. Nobody paid much attention to her. This area of, I don't even know if it's called Lawrence District anymore, but it used to be called Lawrence District, was predominantly Tories, and Tories were for the British. So she was surrounded by all of these people that were for the British cause, but her family were all patriots. Her father Solomon, her brother James all fought for the patriot cause. And so nobody paid attention to a 14, 15-year-old girl, and they would drop that they were going to do this or that, maybe out of the social gathering or in town, and she'd hear it, and she'd carry the message to her brothers so that they could, be informed of what the Tories were up to. One of the main groups of people that were her enemies were called the Bloody Scouts, and they were vicious and ferocious, very bad guys. They would string people up and hack them to death, and they'd burn their cities and steal their stuff. And they got wind of what Dicey was doing. And so they threatened her father, and they said, you either take control of your meddlesome daughter, or we will take care of you. And when those people took care of you, you were dead. So her father warned her against this, but she was able to overhear one more conversation where these Tories, these Bloody Scouts, were going to go and destroy an elder settlement. Elder settlement is what it was called, at Little Eden. And so she didn't want to tell her dad about it. She knew she wasn't supposed to do this, but she snuck out in the middle of the night, crossed the river that was over her head, nearly drowned in it, warned her brother. Her brother saved the settlement, and she got back before breakfast to make her dad breakfast. And so this is one of the main stories of how she goes out and she faces this. Now, if you think about the power of one person, there's people here tonight that are Dicey Langston's descendants. And believe me, there are thousands of them. Because I get their emails and I get their pedigree charts and they send them to me. And I collect that information. And if you think about that entire settlement, it was saved, and all of their descendants, and all of their descendants, and go on down. And there's thousands of people that owe their very existence to a 15-year-old girl. And you may think that you're not going to make a difference, but you can make a difference. And I think it's the greatest legacy that Dicey is leaving you at this school is to teach you how to serve. Because as you make your small acts of service, you impact the world. There is a ripple effect. And I really believe that one day, after you leave this life, somehow you're going to see the ripple effect of what you do, and you're going to be amazed. The other thing that I think we learned from Dicey is that heroes stand up for what they believe in. Dicey was surrounded by people who didn't believe the way she did, but she didn't let that stop her. She had to face the wrath of the Bloody Scouts. She also had her neighbors that didn't like what she was doing as well. There's going to be times in your life that other people are going to choose to do other things. They're going to make choices that aren't wise, that aren't the best, that aren't moral. And I would encourage you to remember Dicey. And what would Dicey do in that situation? Would she choose a higher road? Would she be willing to go the extra mile for someone? Would she be willing to be courageous and make a choice that might not be popular? Another thing that Dicey really portrayed is that heroes choose to act, not to be acted upon. There's a difference. In the world, there's lots of people that are going to tell you, do this, do that, and they're going to kind of try to sway you to think certain ways. The media tells us one thing, they kind of try to control what we believe. But Dicey chose to act, and she also realized that not acting is also a choice. When you don't act where you should act, there are still ramifications. As she sat in her bed, under her blanket, and curled up and prayed that, okay, please help the elder settlement to be saved, it wouldn't have been saved, most likely. She knew that prayer is a good thing. She knew that positive thinking is a good thing. But action follows up faith. Real faith is followed by action. Someone who truly believes in something acts. And that was one of the main things that I think Dicey gets across to us. There's one of the other stories that's passed down about Dicey is where these Tories have got her, stopped her on the road, and they realize she's the daring Dicey Langston. She's already got a reputation, and they want to know what message she's carrying, because she was always carrying messages. And she said, I'm not going to give it to you. I don't care. Shoot me, basically. And so they leveled the gun at her, and she pulls out this handkerchief, and she holds it up, and it's covering the front of her, as if to give a place for the contents of this weapon to be discharged, and says, shoot me if you dare. Well, one of the men took pity, no, we can't do this, knocks the arm of the other one, and the gun fires in the air, and in the confusion, Dicey's able to escape at that point. I thought a lot about this story, about her putting that handkerchief up there. And there's almost a symbolic thing to me that she's saying there, that whatever you throw at me, I'm going to make the best of it. Whatever you give me, I will take it, and it will make me stronger. You can't hurt me, because I choose to be brave. And there's something about that, facing problems head on. I know I've been bad in my own lifetime about sticking my head in the sand and praying the problems go away. And I think the minute that I've learned, and I think I probably learned this from Dicey, is to turn and assess the problem, look at it, face it, and then take it head on. And then you can find solutions. There are doors that open, but as long as you got your head in the sand like an ostrich, you're not going to find them. So face your problems head on. That's what heroes do.